Glory to Jesus Christ. Today we'll be reading the Gospel for the first Sunday after Pentecost, the Sunday of All Saints. And the Gospel that we read is Matthew 10:32 to 33, then 37 to 38, and then chapter 19:27 to 30. It jumps a little bit. And then we'll read the commentary from the blessed Theophylact. So this is the Gospel for the first Sunday after Pentecost. The Lord said to his disciples, "Whoever confesses me before men, him I will also confess before my Father who is in heaven. But whoever denies me before men, him I will also deny before my Father who is in heaven. He who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he who loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he who does not take his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me." Then Peter answered and said to him, "See, we have left all and followed you. Therefore, what shall we have?" So Jesus said to them, "Assuredly I say to you that in the regeneration, when the Son of Man sits on the throne of his glory, you who have followed me will also sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone who has left houses or brothers or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and inherit eternal life. But many who are first will be last, and the last first." And so from the blessed Theophylact, we first have from chapter 10, verses 32 and 33. He exhorts them to bear witness even unto martyrdom. For belief only within one's soul does not suffice. He desires also the belief confessed with the tongue. He did not say, "Whosoever shall confess me," but "in me," that is, in my strength. For he who confesses does so aided by the grace which is from above. But as for him who denies, Christ did not say, "in me," but whosoever shall deny me, showing that he denies because he does not have the aid from above. Therefore, everyone who confesses that Christ is God will find Christ giving confession of him to the Father, that he is a true servant. But those who deny will hear the words, "I do not know you." And then verse 37, "He that loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me." Do you see when it is that we must hate our parents and children? When they want us to love them more than Christ. And why should I speak of father, mother, and children? Hear what is even greater than this. And then verse 38, "And he that takes not his cross and follows after me is not worthy of me. Whoever," he says, "does not renounce this present life and give himself over to shameful death, for this is what the cross signified to the ancients, is not worthy of me. But since there are many who are crucified, such as robbers and thieves," he added, "and follows after me, that is, live according to my laws." And then we jump into chapter 19, verses 27 to 30. So first, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said to him, "Behold, we have forsaken all and followed you. What shall we have?" Even though it seems that Peter had not forsaken very much, as he was poor, understand that in actuality he too forsook much. For the fewer possessions we humans have, the greater the attachment. But Peter also rejected every worldly pleasure, even natural affection for his parents. For these passions war against the poor as well as the rich. What then does the Lord answer? And this is verse 28. "And Jesus said to them, Truly I say to you, that you who have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit on the throne of his glory, you also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Surely they will not be seated? Of course not. But he indicated by means of a throne the great honor they will enjoy. Will Judas also be seated? No, for Christ said, Which have followed me, that is, followed me to the end. But Judas did not follow to the end. By a different interpretation, God often promises good things to those who are worthy. But if they should change and become unworthy as Judas did, those good things are denied. Similarly, with more menacing things, he often threatens but does not carry out the threat, because we have repented. By regeneration, understand the resurrection of the dead at the last judgment. And then verse 29, and everyone who has left houses or brothers or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my sake, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and inherit everlasting life. So that no one would think that what was said applied only to the disciples, Christ broadened the promise to include everyone who does likewise. For they will have, instead of family of the flesh, intimacy and brotherhood with God. Instead of lands, paradise. Instead of houses or of stone, the heavenly Jerusalem. Instead of a mother, the venerable mothers in the church. Instead of a father, the priests. Instead of a wife, all the faithful women not in marriage, far from it, but in affection and spiritual relation and compassionate care for them. The Lord does not bid us simply to separate from our families, but only when they impede our piety. In the same manner, he bids us to despise even our own life and body, but not with the result that we slay ourselves. See how good God is. He not only gives us these good things, but adds to them eternal life. You then, O reader, hasten to sell your possessions and give to the poor. Possessions are, to the wrathful person, his anger, to the fornicator, his disposition for debauchery, to the resentful person, his remembrance of wrongs. Sell these things and give them to the poor demons who are in want of every good thing. Return the passions to the creators of the passions, and then you will have treasure, which is Christ, in your heaven, that is, in your mind, which has been exalted above this world. For he who becomes like the heavenly one has heaven within himself. And then verse 30, but many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Christ is suggesting here the Jews and the Gentiles. For the Jews who were first became last, while the Gentiles who were last were put first. But so that you might clearly understand and learn what this means, he adds the following parable, and then there's another parable that follows in chapter 20. So this is the gospel for the first Sunday of Pentecost, the Sunday of All Saints. Glory to Jesus Christ.